Today's not any easier than yesterday was. All the victims' families have been notified. We will be releasing a list of those that lost their lives yesterday. It will be released through our PIO in a very short period of time. Not at this time, but that's certainly a possibility. This community is hurting right now. There's going to be a lot of conversations over the next couple of days and weeks, and I'm going to be very animated about what I think this country can do to possibly prevent these tragedies in the future.
Next week in Tallahassee, I'm going to sit down with state leaders. We're going to have a real conversation about two things. How do we make sure when a parent is ready to send their child to school that in Florida, that parent knows that child is going to be safe? Number two, how do we make sure that individuals with mental illness do not touch a gun? We need to have a real conversation so we have public safety for our schools in this state.
In 2017, the FBI received information about a comment made on a YouTube channel. The comment simply said, "I'm going to be a professional school shooter." No other information was included with that comment, which would indicate a time, location, or the true identity of the person who made the comment. The FBI conducted database reviews, checks, but was unable to further identify the person who actually made the comment.
Individuals can provide support. I want to thank students have been reaching out to me, reaching out to staff, probably board members and others, saying that now is the time for this country to have a real conversation on sensible gun control laws in this country. So our students are asking for that conversation, and I hope we can get it done in this generation, but if we don't, they will. Everyone in the Broward community and around this country, something that we can do now, that we can get done in this legislative session, is some real funding for mental health support for our youth and organizations in our community so we can properly provide the right kind of interventions. We should not have disconnected youth wandering around in our communities, and we know that they need additional support. For your continued thoughts and prayers, acts of
having to tell with the FBI advocates and my advocates that a child, some 14 years old, is dead is one of the hardest things you have to do in your career.
If they see graphic pictures of rifles and blood and gore and guns and bombs, if they see something, horrific language, if they see a person talking about, "I want to grow up to be a serial killer," we need to have the power to take that person and bring them before mental health professionals at that particular time, involuntarily, and have them examined. People are going to be rightfully so concerned about their rights, as am I. But what about the rights of these students?
The two things I want to focus on when I have this conversation next week with state leaders is I want to focus on school safety, and that's going to focus on dollars. It's going to focus, as the superintendent said, on mental health dollars. It's going to focus on what are the things we can do with regard to school safety. But on top of that, we've got to think about this. If somebody's mentally ill, they should not have access to a gun.